According to a 2023 report, members of Gen Z, the Zoomers, are way behind their older counterparts when it comes to engaging in committed relationships. You know, a little monogamy, a little love, maybe a walk down the aisle. Now, a recent Wall Street Journal article is, if it's to be believed, indicates that Gen Z is finally ready to settle down. So the piece is fed up with situationships. Gen Z is ready to commit. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that term, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but we're going to beat a dead horse and give you the dictionary.com definition. A situationship is a romantic or sexual relationship that is undefined and non-committal. People in a situationship are more than friends, but less than committed romantic partners, usually because the guy is too afraid to commit.
That's not.
It's very true. Okay, people in a situationship.
Women would never want independence combined with physical intimacy.
They don't.
Plenty of women want to live their life and also have healthy sexual appetites and don't necessarily want, like they're ready to do that later. They're worried about the career.
Most women don't want to sleep around. Most women want to find someone they vibe with and build a life with them.
I think there can be lots of vibing in a situation.
Oh, there's a lot of vibing in a situationship. But you know, look, I'm gonna give Zoomers a lot of credit. Okay, they're ready to settle down. They're ready to find their soulmate, their life partner.
Good, that's awesome.
People in a situationship may not have discussed what kind of relationship they are in, or may not have even acknowledged they are in a relationship.
Look, I think really quickly, I think this is one of the downsides of like social media trends transferring away from Facebook. You used to have that little label. And then once we lost that, we just forgot how to have the talk.
That label was everything, right?
It's complicated.
It just clarified everything.
It just is.
Yeah. So the Wall Street Journal spoke to a few Gen Z individuals who explained, you know, they're pretty much done with these types of like waffling relationships. So 24-year-old by the name of Rachel Green said the following about her 6-month situationship, quote, "There's a feeling of constant rejection throughout the situationship because one person does not want to fully commit. Otherwise, it would become a relationship. But the adrenaline and sense of reward when it is going well can be addictive." Don't I know it, sister? Christian and I were in a bit of a situationship, and then he thought he could do better. And then he learned the hard way, he can't. Doesn't get better than this.
What is happening right now? What is going on?
I don't know, I'm feeling wacky.
I hope for Christian's sake he's not watching right now.
Look, this is the most common thing that everyone goes through as they mature through life. Like I think all of us have experienced this. This is totally normal. Zoomers are now aging, okay? Now they're older, they're ready to be in a serious relationship, and good. That is a normal, natural thing to want. I'm glad they want that. It would be more problematic if they didn't want that. So yeah, situationships are annoying. You need to learn how to play the game a little bit. If you are willing to move in with the guy that you are in a situationship with, but you want something more, you want a more serious commitment, like a wedding ring, you wanna get engaged, you wanna get married, don't move in with him. Move in with him after you get engaged and then see what it's like living with him. Make sure that you guys are okay living together, then get married and you're great. But like, don't give everything away up front.
I don't necessarily agree,
It's true.
I think.
It's true, and when I say give everything away, I mean, act like a wife before you are a wife. I'm not talking about sex, okay?
Wives give everything away. Well, actually not that much.
No, but wives do, you're basically pitching in with like the household duties. Like there are responsibilities when you are married to someone, right? And when you're willing to engage in those responsibilities before that guy is willing to make a commitment. By the way, you can reverse the genders or the sexes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think, I don't know, it feels very like an old school sort of view.
But it's
and I'm not saying that the numbers might not, the plurality might not be on your side, it might be, but I think,
if you're getting
especially
all
as
the
a different
benefits
generation.
of marriage before you get married, why would you get married? You get what I'm saying?
I mean, one could say the same thing. If you're getting all the benefits of being married to me, why would you ever settle down? You've already got it all, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, it's a hard to follow analogy, but you input yourself in the same thing. Look, I think it's great, whatever. If they want situationships, if they want to get married. My fear more recently has just been about all these articles that are painting a way more apocalyptic image of Gen Z and particularly Gen Alpha that they just have no idea how to talk to each other anymore.
We don't talk about Gen
They don't even
Alpha.
date, they don't have sex. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I'm not ready to talk about Gen Alpha, okay?
Gen Alpha, aren't they like 18 or something? Like
I don't care. I don't know, and we're not going to talk about them. We've moved on. We're talking about Gen Z right now, okay?
They're the future, okay?
So, Grace Elmore is senior at Cornell. They've got a great bird program there. You should definitely check out their live stream of their bird feeders. It's amazing.
Oh my God.
They had a 3-month relationship, or she had a 3-month relationship with a man who eventually grew feelings for her, but he never, wait. Okay, so Grace Elmore, a senior at Cornell, had a 3-month situationship with a man who she eventually grew feelings for, but he did not reciprocate. Okay, because as Elmore later found out, he also had a long distance girlfriend.
Ooh.
Because he is a double-crossing, terrible person.
Oh my God, well he should have been honest about that.
So Elmore said situationships exist on a sliding scale between two mindsets. You're either in the situationship purely for sex, but not looking for emotional attachment, or you want emotional intimacy, but not sex. If you're looking for both, newsflash, you're actually just looking for a relationship, but don't want to call it that. Grace Elmore is correct. I think she's right in her analysis there. Yeah.
Partially.
Abby notice there's a lot of women being quoted here. A lot of women being quoted here. Abby, who's a psychologist and relationship expert, explained why people get into these situationships in the first place. It's because they're just not ready to commit. Okay, we don't need a psychologist to give us the information here, but we'll read her quote. So she noted that so much of what young people do, including dating, is plagued by fear and anxiety. When people act on feelings instead of logic, they end up consciously or unconsciously feeling something unwanted, lonely, bored, rejected, sad, or abandoned. They reach out to this uncertain thing that's like cotton candy, lots to see on the outside, but it definitely doesn't fill you up if you were hungry. Look, you just need to find ways to trap them, okay? Just kidding. No, look. But honestly, yeah, kind of. You spend time with them, you enjoy each other's company, you're a good match, there's great chemistry, but one party is just not ready to commit. So you just kind of keep it going until that person really starts to enjoy it. It's like part of their life, and then you snatch it away. And you're like, sorry, I need a commitment. And that's how you do it.
I feel like, are you a Sunny fan? Because I feel like you're kind of going through some of the steps of the Dennis system.
But it's true,
Sure.
It's literally true.
I guess, look, I think it's easy to say one person's not ready to commit, but if people are implying that that means it's only because of anxiety, no, they may not want to commit more than that. Like you might want some sex, some emotional connection, and also some independence because you're in school or because of your career or because of your hobbies or your family situation or whatever. I don't think that not wanting to escalate it only comes about as a result of uncertainty or lack of boldness.
But you have
like
to
if I'd married any of the women I dated before my wife, I never would have ended up with her, and Raina wouldn't exist.
By the way,
thank God.
My mind, because I'm an old lady, it like immediately goes to marriage, right? But we're not even necessarily talking about marriage. We're talking about like a monogamous committed relationship. And honestly, the most important thing, I've been kind of tongue in cheek throughout this entire segment. I want to be clear about that. But in all seriousness, if you're really looking for a committed monogamous relationship, the most important thing to do is know that about yourself and to refuse to settle for less, right? And I'm not saying go on a first date and immediately say, I'm looking for a serious monogamous relationship. But once you realize you're dating someone who's just not ready for that, it's not the right time in their life for it, then you need to be honest with yourself about it and move on. Don't stay stuck in a situationship or any relationship that's not giving you what you need or giving you what you're looking for. And that goes for both genders. I'm not just talking about women here.
Yeah.
So
I feel like take our commentary and then add on a rewatch of the movie 500 Days of Summer. I think it'll all make sense.
Yes. All right, hold on 1 second.
It's a mad text from Christian.
No, it's not. It might be something good.
It's just W, T, and also F.
So one of our members wrote in and says, here lies Christian under the bus. He wasn't ready, he was he had just moved to LA. He's enjoying LA, but I didn't pressure him to do anything. I was like, okay, that's fine. Go ahead and see what's out there. And he did. And we're married now. So.
He slummed it with trash for a bit, and now he's back in the castle.
I wouldn't say trash. It's just that based on what he told me, he wasn't gonna find happiness, and he didn't.
Okay, well, then I'm glad for his sake.
Just know what you want, be confident in yourself, and don't settle for less. It's that simple. Sample, as my dad would say. Very sample. Okay, I'm gonna read some of the remaining super chats just because you guys were kind enough to write in, and I want to read everything you wrote in. So Romulus 463 says Trump is not a capitalist. He violates core capitalist principles that may possibly have some short-term gains, but long-term unfortunate consequences. Romulus, if you are a member and are watching this, and I hope you are, I actually think what he's doing is going to cause a lot of pain in the short term as well. So if he really does go through with these tariffs, and it seems like he's poised to do so, there will be short-term pain. There's no question. Yeah. Solid Crusader is back, says, wonder what Jeff Bezos is thinking right now when almost all of his products sold on Amazon online are foreign products, including clothes and furniture. Everything on Amazon seems to be made in China.
That's not a bad point.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for reminding me about that. I hope he's really worried.
Maybe he gets the carve out.
Yeah.
To justify all the money put in.
Yeah. How's your free market capitalist opinion section doing now, bitch? Let's go to Rage Rock for now. Doge, doofus oligarchs gotta exit. Jimmick says, how likely is no income tax on less than $150,000? Unlikely, but I will allow it. If we raise taxes on earners above that and cut income tax entirely for people making under $150,000 a year, I'm not gonna complain about that. Well, you'd have to increase taxes on the rich considerably, and that's just not gonna happen. So it's a nice fantasy. Let's go to Addis, who says, big respect to Anna for being consistently strong on Palestine. As a Bosnian whose family suffered from genocide, big respect to my Armenian sister. Well, as you know, Armenians suffered a genocide as well. So we have that connection, and I totally understand why you care about it as much as I do. Romulus writes in again, and oh yeah, I've read this already. Sorry, Romulus, it's about the government gangsters book. And then Riohan says, whether he owes her money, he literally is throwing out $2 million to random people at rallies. That's a good point. Yeah. 4 years worth of support if the $500,000 is accurate, not taking aside just that math is wild. You're right.
That's gotta hurt her to see that.
That's actually a really good point. But he sees, influencing or corrupting elections as money well spent.
Yeah.
When it comes to his own child, not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much. It's so gross. I hate it. Don't go around having kids with various women. Like, I get that you don't give a damn about the women, which is gross enough, but you're making human beings. These are actual human beings. I actually do care about those kids.
There's a baby in there.
Yeah, there's a baby, and it's freaking awful that, anyway, like I feel bad for those kids, really do.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.